Assalamu alaikum people. Today's January the 29th, which is a Wednesday, and the year is 2020. Hope all is well. Hope everyone's keeping away from this flu virus that's going around and keeping warm. Okay people. Today we're going to discuss a brief discussion about this military aircraft that went down in Ghazni in Afghanistan. First reports came out that it was a local airline plane that was shot down. That news went viral for a few hours, and then America actually named one of the local airlines plane that was dropped. But obviously that backfired. The airline chief went public and said, no, all our planes are accounted for and none of our planes are missing, none of our planes have been damaged. So then the Taliban released a video, and it's an American plane. And it's not just any American airliner plane. It's one of their CIA surveillance planes. There's only 4 of them, from what I know. There's only 4 in America, and they cost from 80 million onwards to 120 million per plane. And basically, this is like a Wi-Fi, a Wi-Fi in the air, basically, because Afghanistan, as you know, is all mountains. There's no electricity, there's no signals in most of Afghanistan and the area between India and Afghanistan. Pakistan and Afghanistan. So both virane jagah, basically, so it's secluded. So these guys are using this plane to get signals, track people, trace telephones, and basically do their target killing. So basically, now the news is coming out where America's admitted that their plane's gone down, but the Taliban have said, no, this is a CIA plane, and there was 83 on board, and all 83 have been killed. People who know about all these intelligence agencies, and it's not hard, you can just go onto YouTube or just Google it, and you can watch documentaries on it. Basically, it takes a lifetime for you to qualify to become a Mossad agent, an ISI agent, a RAW agent, the Iranians, all the top agents, some CIA, MI5. It takes a long time for you to qualify and become one. So all those years and all that knowledge. So when we say a CIA agent has been taken down, it's not as simple as, oh, they're just going to replace it, because the training that is gone through, the secrets that he knows, it doesn't just come overnight. So basically now 83 CIA agents were on the plane, all died, and not just any CIA agents. I don't know if you lot know that when Trump took over, he actually put a chap in charge of all the operations in Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq and Libya, under a guy called, I'm sure his name, Michael D'Andrea, something like that. Now this guy was a top dog, yeah, and he was actually behind the assassination of General Soleimani and the Iraqi freedom fighter general, that were both assassinated in Baghdad at the airport. And obviously we know what's going on. We'll just briefly touch up on that actually. So what happened was, when they assassinated General Soleimani, the Americans come up and said, yes, we've done it, and he was an imminent threat, yeah? So the Iraqis, the whole Muslim world stood up against it. They come out in protest against the killing of Soleimani, and then what happened was Iran promised to retaliate, and Iran did. So they threw a barrage of missiles over to the American air bases in Iraq, and obviously there was damage. But American media blocked out all the media from it, and Trump tweeted straight away that all is well, There was no human life lost or injured, and it's just a tiny, minor damage that they can cope with. It's nothing to even write home about. Yeah. So now, 3 weeks later, the number of American agents injured has slowly started to rise. First it was 11, then it was 20, then it was 34, and today's news, which you can go and check, is today's January the 29th, 2020, and today America's admitted that there's over 50 American soldiers that are being treated for brain injuries, trauma, all this comes into it. So basically, Iran done what they said they were going to do, and showed the world that America is not invisible. Invisible. It's not basically a superpower that it makes out stand. And then at the same time, their military hardware that they sell out, like for these missile shields, interceptors, and all that stuff, that's gone downhill now. No one's going to buy them, because if they couldn't protect themselves, how the hell are they going to protect all the other countries where they've introduced all this hardware? So basically what it comes down to is all these other countries, including all the Muslim nations, they need to realize that if America not protect its own base and its own soldiers, how the hell is it going to protect them? That's a different story. We're going to come to that some other time. Now let's go back to this plane. Now Michael D'Andrea, basically what happened with him was he was the top dog. He was called the Ayatollah of the CIA, basically. They were saying he is the most knowledgeable guy, the most dangerous guy. He was used to using sophisticated technology, and he would get jobs done. And he would send out his agents into areas where they've never been before, like right into the belly. Yeah. So basically, now he's been taken down. So now in a couple of days, you're probably going to hear where America has to either show this Michael D'Andrea, yeah, or they're going to have to admit that he was killed in the flight. But they're already saying that there was no CIA agent, so the story's changed now. First they were saying it wasn't our American aircraft, then they've turned around and said, it was one of the Afghani aircrafts. The Afghani aircraft airline chief has come out and said, nope, all our planes are accounted for, and it wasn't one of our planes. And then the Taliban have released a video. If you go to YouTube, you can see a video where the Taliban are walking around the plane, and it's an American plane with all the details on there, and you can tell that it's an American plane. So basically now America has admitted that one of its military planes has gone down. But now they're saying that there was no CIA agent on board, yeah? Whereas the Russian intelligence has come out with that there was 83 CIA agents on board, and Michael D'Andrea and some top officials in the CIA agents intelligence, yeah, were in that plane. Now I'm thinking, what are the chances of them being a Mossad agent, top dog, in there? Because they all work together. There's nothing hidden about it. What are the chances of a raw agent, top dog, sitting in there? Because these planes, there's only 4 of them, so they were obviously doing something, and they obviously felt safe, because apparently these planes, they cannot be targeted with missiles. They cannot be targeted with bullets. They're radar evading aircraft, and these are the top planes according to the Americans. But they've been proven wrong again and again. Now let's look at the culprits. Who are the suspects? Who are the gainers? Who are the losers? And let's just play around with it, yeah. And remember, a lot of people, this is now what we're going to be discussing. These are all my thoughts. So you can leave a message below, in the comments below, and you can just basically give us your take on this. What do you think? Is there anything you agree with? Is there anything you disagree with? And let's just start a discussion on this, yeah? So basically, let's go list by list. The Taliban. First they said it was the Taliban. The Taliban shot him down. So the Taliban don't have no sophisticated missiles. They only have rocket launchers and stuff like that, yeah? But obviously, these guys are quite good at intelligence gathering, because that's their hood, you know what I mean? It's like someone coming to my house, and then I know where everything is. So do you understand me? So I've got always one step ahead of them. They might have this weapons and everything, but the thing is, that is their hood, that's their back garden. They know it. They've lived in wars, yeah? Now basically the Taliban were guarding this plane, and the Afghani government tried to get there because America goes, look, you need to go there and bloody get all our bodies out, and anything that's the wreckage, we need to secure it. So the Afghani governments tried going in there, and the Taliban stopped them from coming anywhere close. So for 2 days they tried to get close to that place, to the plane. The Taliban didn't let them. Now, then the Taliban have turned around and said, oh, we did not shoot the plane down. So that's a little suspicious, because if the Taliban didn't shoot the plane down, why were they guarding the plane site and not letting anyone go close to it? So my take on that is that they must have been guarding it so nobody can go there, and they were guarding it for the Americans, so the Americans can come and get their shit out of there, basically, so nobody else sees any wreckage proof, because some videos have gone viral, but people are known for getting in there and showing proof of stuff and equipment that other intelligence agencies around the world would definitely be interested in. So I think the Taliban have basically worked with the Americans, because they were in a peace treaty, they were actually discussing a peace deal, and then this happened. So the Taliban have said, nope, it's not us. So basically, then you think, okay, who can it be? Now remember, I told you in the beginning of this video that Michael DeAndrea, basically he was the top dog of the CIA, who was in charge of any operations happening in the Middle East and South Asia. So this guy is dealing with countries like Russia, China, Pakistan, Afghanistan, then you've got Libya, then you've got Iraq, Iran, Lebanon. This guy was the top dog there. Now this guy was also in charge and was responsible for the assassination of General Soleimani. So what's happened is now they're going to obviously say, oh, it's Iran. I mean, they always need a reason to start a war, so they're going to blame Iran. Now this looks good for Iran. At the same time, it becomes very dangerous. The reason it looks good is because Iran not only retaliated targeting the air bases direct, which is the only country that's actually done that direct. There's no, we're not going to turn around and use any of our proxies to do anything. We're going to target you direct. So they're the only country in the world that's actually done it, and none of their missiles were intercepted. And they've done damage, so they've proved a point there. Now, if this thing comes out that Iranians had done this, it makes the Iranians the most powerful in the region, because they've targeted the top dogs, and they didn't target one, they've targeted 83 of them, and it's not only just 83 of them sitting in a hotel or somewhere, which has happened in the past. This is like the top plane aircraft they've got, with all the sophisticated technology in there, and they've not only brought it down, they've killed everyone on board, and they've destroyed this whole thing. So basically, a lot of questions arise here. If Iran did do this, how did Iran get the intelligence? Are there people in Afghanistan that are working with Iran? So that's going to be another headache for America. Now, if Iran's done this, this is going to make America think, are any of our bases, because if their top generals are not safe, how are their bases going to be safe? So it's going to basically, America's in a no-win situation. Then the reason it's going to backfire is because if such things happen, then America will turn around and have to do something about it. If they don't, they're already going downhill. Then especially with the Palestinian deal of the century that he's come out with, the plum, I don't know what he's thinking about. Does he really expect these people to just turn around and accept all his deals? Now, the Palestinians, as you know, they've turned around and been here before. They've been here, there's generations that have actually lived through this occupation. So they're going to just carry on. They're going to carry on until they get their land back. And it's their right to do so. Now, this plum has turned around and just said, oh, this is how it's going to happen. And it's trying to dictate to, one of the poorest nations that's been brought down with sanctions, with assassinations, with puppet governments. They've tried everything, and it's not happening. Children as human shields, they've tried everything, but you don't hear anyone speaking about it. And I know there's going to be a lot of muppets that are going to disagree with me on that, and they're going to leave some messages below in the comment section. But listen, guys, you need to be honest. You need to remember, you're going to answer to God. What's wrong is wrong and what's right is right. Yeah, you understand me? Now, if the Holocaust did happen, yeah, I mean, now you've got a law. If you turn around and dispute the Holocaust, you're going to get locked up. So I'll probably get them coming and doing my door. But the reality is, we're a free world, free mind. Yeah, humans are different from jinns and animals because we've got the will, free will to think. Yeah. Now, if the Holocaust did happen, yeah, why are we not allowed to discuss it or ask any questions regarding it? Yet you can ask questions about God, you can ask questions about anything else, but you can't question the Holocaust. Yeah. So that's a little dodgy. Number two, if the Holocaust did happen, where did it happen? It happened in Germany. So it did not happen in the Middle East, it did not happen in Palestine. Yeah? So it happened in Europe, in Germany. The next question is, who carried the Holocaust out? Who done this to the Jews? Was it the Muslims? No, it wasn't. They lived peacefully. It was the Germans. That's what they say. Now, if you read up on this, it's a whole conspiracy thing. I mean, people that are on board and they know their stuff, they know that, this isn't rocket science. It was all pre-planned. They've done this. They've done the Holocaust, and they turned around and brought it up, made it look worse than it was. And then, okay, we'll agree with everything. It's all happened, yeah? We'll agree with your figures. We'll agree with all your circumstances. But if it's happened in Germany and it's happened by the Germans, the Palestinians had nothing to do with it. Why are the Palestinians suffering? Why didn't America or Europe give them some land? Look, America, I mean, I've been there. So half of America is just land. Nobody's even living there. You can make countries there. There's forests and rivers and everything there. Why don't you turn around and move them there? On the side, you're obviously pally, you're best buddies. So why don't you just live there together? Why would you throw them in the Middle East and, kill children and families and take over their house? This is a totally different discussion. I'm going to have to do a video about this. But I want all those Muppets that disagree with me to leave a comment below so we can actually discuss this, yeah? And perhaps you can even come on my channel. We can sit face to face and we can have a discussion, yeah? But I know that's not going to happen. So anyway, let's come back to this plane. So Iran is going to be a suspect, yeah? Now, what also comes into my mind, let's keep all our options open. Now, basically, Russia could be a suspect. That Russia's done it. Because obviously, this was a top dog and it helps Russia, him going. And Russia is close to China and Iran. So that's another option. But my mind pushes me more towards Israel. Israel and America itself. So let's go through the reasoning behind Israel being behind this whole thing. I think Israel could have done this because it had pushed America and Iran so close to war, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. The dust just started settling and everyone's gone quiet about it. I mean, come on, the media doesn't even talk about it. So what Israel's done now is they're trying to do this and then they can put pressure on America and say, listen, these guys are killing your top dogs now. You need to teach them a lesson. Let's just go in. And with previous wars, they've always looked for reasons to go in and do their damage, and they have done that. So Israel is a big culprit here because it's the only winner out of this whole thing. If a war was to break out in the Middle East, there's only one winner, and that is Israel. That's what it thinks. I think Israel is going to be the biggest loser. So basically, Israel wants America to start war with the Iran, and obviously it's not going to be held into, just basically based on one country against another country. The whole world will just go up in flames. And then you've got India, Pakistan that are already arguing, fighting. They're always shooting on the borders. They're going to come out. Then you've got Iraq. Then you've got Syria. Then you've got Lebanon. Then you've got Libya. Then you've got, you've got everyone. Everyone will come out. Yeah, Russia will protect its assets. America is trying to protect its assets, but it can't protect itself. So Israel is also a suspect in this. Now the other main suspect, because I'm undecided. I don't think Iran or Russia has done it. But I wish Iran had done it, because this would look good for Iran, yeah? And it'll make America look much weaker, and it'll show the world that, listen, these guys ain't as bad as they think. It's like a bad man gangster walking around, yeah? And he's got his like 20 buddies behind him, and he's like a big man. But when you catch that geezer on his own, yeah, he ain't doing shit. You understand me? So that's what position America's in right now. So I think America's done this to save... now let's go through the reasons why America would do this. Number one, Trump impeachment. Number two, the re-elections are coming. Number three, Israeli lobby. Number four, the CIA agents, they, you know, obviously if the elections happen and these guys, Trump loses, these guys might not even be kept on their job. Do you understand me? And obviously with the impeachment trial going on, these guys might have to go there as witnesses, and, you know, because obviously who was in charge of the intelligence operation? So they must have wiped him out. So say, listen, na rahe baans aur na baje baansi. So, you know, basically, if if the snake isn't there, you wouldn't need a stick to kill the snake, because the snake's not there, it's dead. So I don't know if that was the actual translation of it, but, you know, so we can understand, we're on the same page, yeah? So basically America has done this to turn around, cover its own tracks, because, you know, with the impeachment and then obviously with the re-elections and all this shit will come out. Basically then these guys will have to speak up and then tell the truth. And these guys have assassinated them, yeah? These guys have assassinated them themselves, and now they've got a reason that, listen, we have to go for war. They've killed the top dogs of our CIA intelligence agency. So those are my thoughts. I hope things calm down, because this can actually start something big, and the innocent people are going to lose. You know, Trump is going to be sitting in his mansion, yeah, with his bottle of wine and his lines of coke, and his pedophile friends, yeah, and all the generals and armies officers, they're all going to be sitting in their homes and telling innocent people who believe they're doing the right thing. I'm talking on behalf of the Western country. They believe they're doing the right thing. They're fighting for their country. But the thing is, though, they need to turn around and understand, are we in the right or are we in the wrong? You can't just go because your country's told you to go and invade someone or go and kill someone, yeah? And whereas the losers are always going to be the poor. The poor are always going to be the losers. The innocent are always going to be killed, yeah? These guys are just going to make money, yeah? So the lessons what I wanted to take from all this, yeah, is that, first of all the Muslim countries around the world, yeah, and all the American allies, they need to realize and they need to understand, yeah, that if America cannot protect its own bases, it can't protect its own staff, its own army, its own intelligence officers, and I'm talking the top dogs, yeah, top dogs need to be protected. It doesn't matter where they are, yeah. With General Soleimani, he was a soldier. You understand me? He was a soldier. He was never a general, according to himself. I mean, if you read the will he's left to his wife about his grave, and every interview he said he wanted martyrdom. You understand me? So he carried his life on his sleeve. So he would be on the battlefront. That was the difference between that general and these generals. These generals are sitting at home, you know, with their prostitutes, with their friends, with their pedophile friends, with their bloody drinks, with their drugs, yeah, with blood all over their hands, the blood-stained hands, yeah. While that chap was actually on the front line. He wasn't sending people's children to go and fight for their country or fight for their rights. He was actually joining them. And you can YouTube it. There's no lies about it. He's gone, but you can go and YouTube it. Can you show me? I mean, I've seen a few videos where, you know, Trump is talking big and then someone shouts something in the back and he shits himself. Even George Bush, every single American and Western, what's his name, high positioned, generals or presidents or prime ministers or councillors or whatever, yeah? Basically, Soleimani was a man that would go in the front line, and he was not scared of death. He wanted death. He prayed. He wanted everyone to pray for his martyrdom to be accepted. So for him, he's a winner, yeah? Now, with these guys, they're going to turn around and start something big. They're going to start something big, and I'm just worried because there's a reason. Now, some people would think if they really want to do something, when Iran retaliated, why did they just do something? No, it's bigger than that. Right now, they're trying to get to Pakistan. The reason is because Pakistan is becoming self-efficient, and all the crooks are getting caught out, and they have to pay back. And what's happened is, you know, the Balochistan, the Gwadar end, the deepest port in South Asia, and China CPAC. This is all about that, because you know when India attacked Pakistan and the plane was shot down and they caught that Indian pilot. They also caught an Israeli pilot, but they had to release him behind the scenes, and it was a media blackout. Nobody mentioned that. Now that brings up questions that why would Israel be helping India? What's Israel got against Pakistan? Now I'll tell you what they've got against Pakistan. It's exactly what they've got against Iran and Syria and Iraq in the beginning, because Pakistan is the only Muslim nuclear state in the whole world. And they are against that because they don't want no retaliation. They don't want anyone standing up to them. Now, Pakistan has to be very careful, because with Saudi Arabia, it's bad news. Everyone in the world knows that Saudi Arabia is a puppet regime for Israel and America. Whatever they say goes. Yeah? So Pakistan needs to turn around and walk back from that. You know, can't get involved with Saudi Arabia too much, because, you know, different with the country, with our Islamic, heritage and everything. But these guys are not Muslim. They are Zionists, and they're open Zionists. Yeah, they have different rules for themselves and different rules for the people they rule. So that's another discussion as well, and we're going to probably go and do a video about that as well. But the real target is Pakistan here, because Russia and China, they're building up to that. But no, they just need to get a puppet government like they did for so many years in Pakistan, get in there so they can control everything. Because right now Pakistan is like a unity point for all the Muslim nations, because it's a nuclear power. Iran is a nuclear power. It's just that it doesn't need nuclear powers to defeat America or Israel, and they've proved that again and again. For the last 40 years, they've gone the harshest sanctions. They've turned around, had scientists assassinated. They've gone through the works, but those people have still got there. Pakistan didn't have sanctions. Pakistan didn't have all the things going against it that what Iran had for 40 years. Do you understand me? So if Pakistan had all them issues that Iran had, there's no way Pakistan could have become a nuclear power. Yeah. So Pakistan done it because they were not under that pressure. You have to give it to Iran. Iran actually done it while they were under the pressure, the sanctions, the harshest sanctions. Their currency was nil. They couldn't sell their oil. You know, their people weren't safe anywhere around the world, and they done it. Yeah. So we need to turn around and we need to congratulate them on that. But we need to stick together. We need to turn around and stop war, peace down the road. Let's see if America actually agrees and accepts that this Michael DeAndre was there. They're probably going to say no, he died somewhere else, but he died at home with a heart attack after a month. But the thing is though, now it's on the American media to actually hunt this guy down and get an interview. If he's alive and he wasn't in there and there were no CIAs, where is this guy? Yeah. So that's my challenge to all the media, all the wannabe reporters out there. They need to turn around and find this guy and get an interview and prove us all wrong. Yeah, that's the way it should be, straightforward. Because America's already been proven to lie again and again and again. Yeah, they've lied about a lot of things, and then after a while they accept. Remember when Iran shot down their spy drone? First said nope. Obama goes nope. Our drones are all back home. Everything's fine. The next day, yes, one of them went down with the technical error. Then there's no way Iran could have made that land because it's damaged. And then when Iran released the video and released all the footage that it had taken, then Obama said, can you please give it back to us? You bloody muppet. Did you really expect them to just give it back to you? So Iran goes, no, what we're going to do is we're going to copy it. We're going to copy it, and then they gifted it to China. And you could do a fact-finding little mission on everything I've said and see if these things are true or not. And they've actually gifted it to China and Russia. And now they've made their own drones, clones of the drones, clones of the drones. A good video name. You know, America has been proved to lie again and again and again. Now, watching the next few days, we're going to start hearing stuff regarding this and Michael Durandra, and I just hope that there's no war, people. So we need to, you know, unite. It doesn't matter what color, what background you're from, what religion you're from. The reality is the poor are going to lose. The innocent are going to lose their lives. And when I mean innocent and poor, we have them in all walks of life. We have them in Islam, we have them in Hindus, we have them in Sikhism, we have them in Christianity, even have them in atheists. So we just need to all pray, unite, and stop any wars from happening. So guys, I think I've 30 minutes. It's just over 30 minutes. So I don't know how the time goes so fast. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you didn't, or if you agree with me or you disagree, please leave some messages below, and like, comment, share and subscribe. Over and out, people.